Christian, we're just about 2.5 weeks away from Northwestern, and it's going to be played on unfamiliar territory, of course, not in Evanston and not in Lincoln. But these are two teams that typically play down to the wire, last play of the game kind of games, except 7 touchdown difference last year. Nebraska, I don't think there's any question. They're just a more explosive team, better athletes. But Northwestern, of course, tremendous coaching, tremendous program that's been built there by Pat Fitzgerald. But this doesn't look to be one of his better teams. But how do you see this game shaking out? Have you given it any thought in regards to what you're expecting?
I think it's exactly like you said. I mean, the talent differential alone should at least be a 2 to 3 touchdown, victory. I would imagine for Nebraska, but Pat Fitzgerald, again, like you said, is one of the better coaches in the Big Ten. For me, it's a neutral site game. I think Northwestern's going to be a little bit looser, in that game. There's a little bit of like a championship, UFC fight, if you will, sort of feel to it. And sometimes, you can have a guy that's the heavyweight champion of the world. He's real uptight. He takes it a little too seriously. And it's the guy that's the underdog that comes in who just was a little more relaxed. You know what I mean? He just didn't make that mistake and he just sees it before the champion does. Right. And again, I think Nebraska should win this game, right? But it's on a neutral site game. There's a lot of expectations for it. To me, what it comes down to is the biggest thing from last year, and we've talked about it all off season, is the amount of games that, we lost by a 1 possession. Well, how do you not do that? Well, you don't put yourself in a position where you can lose games by 1 possession. You got to put yourself in a position where you can be ahead by 2 or 3 possessions towards the end of the game, right? I mean, it's just that simple. And I think if they put themselves in that position, again, like we talked about, we're really not going to know what the weak part of last year's team was, the O-line, how they're going to do until we see it in Ireland, right? And if they can do a good job, which, again, like Greg said, I think all signs are pointing that they're going to be better this year, I don't see why they struggle in that game at all. But if they don't, and Casey Thompson is not able to throw the ball and they're just not able to run it downhill, then you're going to go into a pretty tight game in the fourth quarter, and that's got to be pretty scary.
Christian Hunt going to help us with post-game here at the Voice of College Football Nebraska. So join Christian, and we got Zach Reeder online, and we may even be able to pull Greg in for a few games here and there to talk some Nebraska football after the Huskers wrap it up. So every Nebraska game, as soon as the clock hits double zeros, Christian will be here and others breaking down the Huskers.
I want to try to make this happen, Christian, from Dublin. How about that? How about that for a debut? Huh?
Hey, I thought when he said he was bringing me on, I told my wife, you better get your shillelagh ready. We're traveling,
Yeah, I mean.
The budget here at the Voice of College Football is increasing. We haven't quite reached those levels, though. We're getting there.